Hello everybody and welcome back to Final Fantasy the Crystal Chronicles. In this video we are going to be taking on the very long and complicated Selepation Cave. So let's get started.
The wind is strong here. Legend has it that from this cave, each and every gust of wind is born. I wonder why the wind here chills my face. It must have been born just moments ago. Perhaps it will blow across the land, growing warmer with each memory it gathers. The wind then plays its part by carrying those memories everywhere it goes. And once it is finished, here it shall return.
Alright, so here we are everybody. We have a lot of enemies in our first cycle, so I will go ahead and plop those bios in for everybody. And the reason I was dreading recording this area is because it is very complicated. It's like a labyrinth of sorts. There's about 3 different entry points to go in and out of both of the screens on this place. I think I'll go from right to left. The right's kind of the simplest path, and as you make your way to the left, there's more treasures and stuff. But I'll go to the right first, just because you can collect some magic from the enemies on this road. As you can see, we've got some blizzard. We should be able to get one of every single spell very easily. This area is very good for that, which is really nice for spellcasters. Really, if you're looking for magic of any sort and you don't have it, or if you want to use magic for whatever reason, you can go ahead and do that. So you can see we got 3 magic spells in a row. But other than that, it's just fighting enemies on this road. The bee, of course, is a flying enemy, so you can either use gravity or just defeat it by normal means. The bee isn't really deadly. It's probably still recommended to use gravity, but again, he's not really an enemy that's a huge threat to you, so it's completely up to you what you'd like to do. These blazer beetles are kind of big and they look intimidating, but they don't do much damage. The only thing to remember about them, though, is that they are fast. You'll notice that when I attacked it, it didn't really get stunned, whereas most enemies tend to get stunned when you attack them and then they kind of stop moving, where I find that the blazer beetle does not do that. He will keep moving, regardless if you attack him or not. So keep that into consideration when you are attacking him or casting spells. He'll pretty much charge right at you, but yeah, he's not really a, I guess, intimidating enemy, I wouldn't say. But yeah, so if you go to the right first, you're basically just going to get into a plethora of battles, and we will go towards what we're going to call entrance number 3. And now we're on the second screen. This area is great for speedrunners, because if you take this way, if you go through entrance number 3 and then you head north, you will get to the boss battle and you can pretty much surpass the whole entire left side of the cavern. You don't have to waste your time collecting treasures or fighting enemies or anything like that. But we're a node speedrunner and we're going to collect every single chest in this area. So rather than go north, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start heading to the left-hand side here. There's enemies that are going to pop out of these pools. I think they're called Saragons, right there. And they seem to respawn, like they're really quite weak, but they seem to respawn out of water pools, and they only appear out of these water pools when you get near them, so it's completely up to you what you want to do. You can basically farm these guys if you are looking for a specific drop or something, where you need more strange liquid or food or equipment or something. Looks like they only really drop milk, food, things like that. I really shouldn't have even picked those up because both of those are very, very useless. Strange Liquid is only really useful if you're a Uke, and I'm not a Uke, so go ahead and get rid of those. And we're just going to make our way to the left. There's lots of enemies in this area. As you can see, judging by the biles, there was a lot of biles that I had to put in. A lot of new enemies. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of new enemies. A lot of enemies, old and new. Of course, we saw the cockatrice in the last level we did. The electric jellyfish are coming back from Goblin Wall. The lizards we've seen quite a bit as well. We'll see a lot of lizards in these 2 stages we'll be doing. The blazer beetles are new. So it's kind of a good mix. There's a chest here, and this has a master's weapon design. I think I already have one of those, so I can probably drop it. It's not too big of a deal. There's 3 treasure chests on the second screen. Most of the collecting is on the first screen, which is why we're going to do that screen first. But that's one of 3, so I won't have to worry about that when I come back later. And then if we head south from that treasure chest I just opened, you'll pretty much be able to go into the second opening of this area. These are Gigas, and if we remember, Jack Machette was a Gigas. I don't know if they got too lazy to think of a good boss sprite, or if they just got too lazy thinking of a new enemy sprite, but basically the Gigas is the same as Jack Machette. These guys are kind of funny because they are big, they look very intimidating and very tough, but those staircases we've been going up in this area, you might have seen them. I didn't really point them out, but they're too big to actually walk down the staircase, so what you can do is you can lure them to the edge, and then you can go ahead and you can attack them from a distance and they won't be able to attack you, which is really funny. As you can see, I'm getting absolutely mauled by these enemies just because they come in large mobs, which is pretty irritating, really. And it's kind of hard to single them out because enemies are just ruthless and they don't want to go away, despite how far away they were from the spawning point. Of course, the Gigas enemies have quite a good amount of stamina. They've got lots of HP. Their defense is pretty good. Why am I losing my words? And then you've got things like the cockatrice just annoying you, trying to put status effects on you and things like that. So again, just take your time, don't worry, use your food and your Phoenix Down or your cure spells or whatever it is you need to use. Because if you try to rush this or you try to walk right into a mob and you're unaware, you will die. At this point in the game it starts to get a little bit harder, and so you just need to really watch your back. Alright, now that all those enemies are dead, I have to find my way again. We kind of got sidetracked. We were heading to the south. I think down here is where we need to go. And this will bring us to what I'm going to call exit number 2. Now this exit in the middle, exit number 2, it's right in the middle of the cave, and I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's higher or lower than the rest of the cave, but basically you can only get to this area by going through that exit I just came out of. You can't walk here by going through the first screen that we were on, just because, like I said, it's either too high or too low. I think it's too high compared to the rest of the cave. And this is where the majority of the treasure chests are, so you do want to go ahead and come through here if you want to get all the treasures and things like that, and enemy drops as well, can't forget about those. Again, lots of mobs here for you, for your heart's content of beating monsters to a pulp. And there's also some elevators, which makes this place even more confusing than it already is. You can see here there's an elevator, and make sure Mog is on here as well, because if Mog's not on the elevator it won't go down, which is very irritating because he doesn't seem to have the best brain power in the world. I was gonna say the most brain power, I don't know what would make more sense, but he certainly doesn't really seem to get the clue, so you might need to make sure that he's on the elevator, because they will go up and down. And if it's not going up or down, it's probably because Mog is being a dummy, so... again, these elevators are not necessary, but if you want to get all the chests and things like that, you do want to go up and down them. They'll bring you you know, to the lower part of the cavern, up to where we just came out. So, iron armor, is that something? Oh yeah, I'll destroy this because we already have one. Looks like anyone can equip it, so I might hold on to that just to make sure, just in case I don't have one, although I'm pretty sure that I do. That elevator to the other side there, where that lizard's chasing after me stupidly, goes to the second part. Or I should say it goes to the left-hand side of the first part I showed you guys, so I'm going to ignore that for now. Oh, come on, elevator. It's so finicky. There we go. As you can see, Mog had to be right in the elevator before it would work. Very, very irritating. So I'm just gonna kind of worry about the first floor and anything that's not reachable until you go in the middle part, and then we'll take care of the left side in a minute here. So there's that elevator on the left-hand side, which has a treasure chest, obviously, as you saw, and it's got a shortcut. You can go back to the left side of the cave on the first screen, which, again, we haven't seen yet, so I'm going to save that. It's kind of nice because this cave is very confusing, but there's lots of shortcuts and things like that. This place is very, very helpful to have, like, a physical map in front of you. I don't know how confusing it's going to be for people watching this. But if I didn't have a map in front of me, I would honestly be very confused. So I don't blame you guys for being confused if you are, and just try to bear with me. This is another world where it's just very hard for me to try to explain things properly in a way that makes sense, that's not completely illogical and completely rambly, I guess would be the word for it. I'm not rambling on about things that don't even make any sense. Some more money. We're getting quite a bit of money in this world too. Seems like they're giving us more and more money as time goes on, actually. Take care of that Gigas, finally. I'm pretty sure they're weak to fire, just like Jack Machette was. Alright. And there's two other chests up here before we take the other two elevators. And of course, I could use Blizzard on the electric jellyfish, but since I changed my weapon and I have a focus attack that doesn't make me directly strike the jellyfish, I just choose to go with that. As you can see, one focus attack takes care of no problem, so it's totally up to you. Again, I want to remind everybody, if you don't remember from Goblin Wall, the electric jellyfish will kind of paralyze you if you touch them, being that they are electric. I guess they'll kind of like electrocute you, so don't do that. Blizzard works very, very well on them. Alright, so we got those chests there. Now we can go ahead and we can take two elevators. The one to the south will bring us to the right side of the cave that we started in. But if we go to the upper one up here... Thank you, Mog, for getting in the elevator. It'll bring us to... I think it'll actually bring us to two chests. There's a northern one up here. And my foot is falling asleep. Probably because I'm sitting cross-legged and like the weight of my leg is crushing my foot is what I would assume. I hate that. I hate when your body parts fall asleep. It's like the most uncomfortable feeling ever. Alloy, we've seen that quite a bit, but it is actually quite useful. Ring of Thunder. That's an interesting artifact. I think we've seen a Ring of Blizzard in Viola Sluice. Let's go ahead. Oh, I didn't want to go up. I wanted to go through to the other side, but I stopped. I was about to charge a focus attack to hit that Gigas, but I guess I should go back. I'm gonna try to push Mog into the elevator, otherwise he's not gonna get it. There we go. Almost done here, guys. Bear with me. This place is very, very long. I wasn't kidding when I said it was very long stage to do. Just because it's so maze-like and just a very big pain in the butt to try and collect all the treasures in and things like that. I think I mentioned in the last video that I was only going to be doing 2 stages of this place. There's only one new enemy that shows up in year 3, and by the time we get around to it, we've probably already seen the enemy, and the boss never changes. So I only find it necessary to show 2 stages of this place, so hopefully this is another area that we're only going to have to do 2 stages of. And there should be a chest on this hill. It's kind of an awkward looking hill. And with that actually takes care of all the treasure. So let's go ahead and go back up, and then we can take that other elevator I talked about, and that will create a shortcut to go back to where we started, and then we can explore the left side. And we will be one step closer to finishing this area. I'm actually making okay time, surprisingly. I was expecting this would take about 25 minutes. I really hope it doesn't, because that will be very, very annoying. But this elevator here will bring us pretty much back to the right-hand side, and we can go through exit 3 again if we'd like to, but I'm not going to. You can see this is where we started. We're not going to go ahead and do the left side of this area. There's not really anything new over here. There's not really any new enemies or anything like that, but there are some more chests and a rather interesting puzzle as well. You'll see these switches periodically throughout the level. These little crystal switches. You can't hit them with magic. You have to hit them with your weapon, and you have to hit them in like harmony. So if you hit one crystal, you have to hit the other one. And if you don't hit both, then the gate will not open. So very, very easy switches to figure out, because there's only 2 of them usually. Of course, I'm going to ignore that for now. Just continue on all the way to the left, like go as leftward, I guess. Is leftward a word? I don't know. Go as far left as I can, I guess would sound a lot better, because there's a chest over here I'd like to go ahead and pick up before we go on. Yeah, these beetles are a pain in the butt. It really doesn't help that they don't stop what they're doing when I attack them. I'm trying to get my character to eat a bunch of stuff so that she likes everything. As you can see, like the potatoes and the cherry clusters and things like that aren't restoring a whole lot of HP, but if she eats them enough, she will learn to like them. And plus it just gets rid of food in my inventory as well. I can just have more space for stuff. Although we haven't really found anything good in this place in terms of drops, which is kind of disappointing. But like I said, really, really good place for magic. Excellent place for magic users if you're a Uke or something and you depend very, very heavily on magic. You can see, I think this is our 3rd firestone we ran into, so you can get like the most powerful fire spell if you wanted. Several blizzard stones, things like that. So that's good news, but so far we ran into a lot of money. I've seen all the crafts that we've gotten, including the one that we just got, the gloves, I think it was. Iron gloves. Gloves are for little T's, so we can't use that, unfortunately. But yeah, all the crafts aren't really that useful to us, and I don't really plan on using magic on the boss, so I haven't really picked up a whole lot of it. I've picked up a few of them, and I probably should try to maybe make a gravity spell or something so I can take care of those killer bees a little bit easier, but alas, I haven't. I don't hate magic or anything, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not why I'm not using it, it's just I don't have the patience for it, to be completely honest, so. There's a life spell if you want to go ahead and pick that up. Holy is probably very, very useful for the boss, again, if you are a magic user and your physical attack power is very, very poor. I'd recommend picking up that life spell so you can make holy. It'll probably be beneficial to you. And there should be another chest up on this little walkway here. And a mithril belt! Okay, so I can actually use that because I'm a Selkie, so that's kind of exciting. Yay! Let's see here. I actually forget what I have to make gravity, but let's fuse these together. Okay, so I can make gravity. Blizzard and thunder. Let's use gravity on this bee, just because I don't even think I've shown off gravity yet. I might have with the Aramons, I'm not too sure, but as you can see, he'll flop to life and he dies in 1 hit, whereas if he's up in the air, he takes a lot longer than that, so a lot faster. And again, we have another little switch puzzle here. This is a very, very long, winded way to go, obviously. Lots of enemies. Not a whole lot of treasures though. There's only 2 treasures on this side. But yeah, I'll leave the apple behind. It's only 1 apple. Screw it. I've got lots of food in my inventory. These big lizards are very, very fast. They cast spells very, very quickly. Fortunately, they don't really seem to be that strong, so sigh of relief on that one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can get rid of. I'm not going to be saving, so let's just go ahead and destroy these, just to get them out of my inventory. Just so I can see what else they're dropping. Alloy. Again, we've already picked up some alloy. And more money! What a surprise. We're almost near the end here, and then we can go back to the second screen and actually finish up this area, which is pretty exciting because, again, like I said, this area is very, very long. So, take care of these beetles. 2 of them in a row are very, very annoying to deal with. Because, like I said, they both move very, very fast. You probably use fire on them to make your life a lot easier, but I'm stubborn. I'd rather just attack them. Take them on head first. Bit more challenging that way. There we go. Another hard shell, and here we are. We have reached the end, and this is going to be exit number 1. Alright, so now that we have gone through every single entrance / exit, whatever you want to call them, 1, 2, and 3, we're now ready to finish up the last little bit of this area and go to the boss. So basically, you just head north, and then we're going to, pretty much we're going to head northeast, I should say. Like I said, there's only 3 chests in this area, so what you can do is you can completely speedrun this area if you'd like to. Collect the chest and get the hell out of here, which I might do just because it'll make this video go on for so much longer if I defeat every single enemy. And we've gotten pretty much everything that's major. And you don't need a key for the final boss or anything like that. I don't know if we've gotten all the artifacts though. There might be a monster that drops an artifact and I haven't picked it up yet, so that might be something that I want to look out for. But move! Oh, yes! Okay. Electric jellyfish. Oh, there's 2 of them! I was gonna say, why do I have so many spells coming my way? It's because there's 2 of these buggers. But yeah, if I'm missing an artifact, I might want to re-look to see if I've missed an enemy. Plus, we still have 1 more chest to get, so... Lots of food being dropped in this world, too, as well. Where is this chest? It should be up here somewhere. Where are you? There you are. There's our artifact, the main gosh. I think I've mentioned before, I don't really know how to pronounce that word. One of those words where it looks like it could be pronounced something, but you're probably wrong. Alright, so that's 2 out of 3 treasure chests, and now we're basically just going to head east from here, seeing as how there's not really any more ways you can go north. We pretty much hit the top. There's another, this is one of the element changers. Actually, it's the only one in this world. You can change your element to wind if you'd like. But just continue on east from here. Stupid cockatrices, there's 2 of them! No! So annoying. Get away from me. Luckily, they're actually going on pretty good here with my weapon. I'm actually very pleased with this weapon. It'll be even better when I upgrade my weapon next year with that Master's Weapon scroll. Hopefully, I have enough crafting materials to make it. That'll be a bummer if I don't. But yeah, basically now we're just kind of mopping up, cleaning house kind of thing. We're getting our butts beat because we're paralyzed and frozen and all sorts of other annoying things. This is when things get really, really annoying. Like, I need to have a focus attack in order to attack that electric jellyfish, but I can't, because the Gigas is getting in my way, for example. You know, like, I'm trying to focus on one enemy, but it's completely making me focus on another, and it's just very, very annoying. But as you can see, the game, like I said, I've mentioned, it is getting a little bit harder now. If you haven't really noticed, or you thought this game wasn't going to get any harder and I was lying to you, and, you know, people were like, this game's so easy, but it does get a little bit harder. I mean, I wouldn't say it's super, incredibly, terribly, unbeatably hard, but you do have to start using strategy later on in this game to your advantage. Definitely. I'm actually getting into a lot of really, really close calls here. As you can see, I almost died there. That would have been very embarrassing because I don't have a Phoenix Down assigned to one of my command slots, so if I would have died, I would have had to start over. Fortunately, if you die, quote unquote, and you get a game over, they start you back at the start of the level, but all the enemies you've defeated will still be defeated, so you don't really have to go through and defeat any enemies or anything like that, so... Alright, so we're at 25 minutes. Up here is where the boss battle is, but before we do that, I'm just going to speed run the rest of this. Screw any enemy that comes out and attacks me. If you keep going east from where the boss door is, there's a chest in this corner, which will have our last artifact, which is the cat's bell. So that's it for this video. Again, so sorry it took so long, but very, very, very long stage. And in the next video, I'll meet you guys back here where we will beat the boss. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope to see you all then.